In this video, I'm going to answer a question that came in from the community, and you are welcome to ask questions below any of the videos that you watch if there's something that you like and you have a question specifically about, Carolyn, how do I live this? So I've understood this thing about my design, and now I'm struggling to understand either the complexities, like there's something I don't understand about what it actually means, this particular part of my human design, or how do I actually live it in the real world? Like how do I do this thing in real life? The theory's great. What happens when the rubber meets the road? So if you have that kind of question and it is of a general nature, that means I don't need to see your chart. Obviously, I can do individual chart work in one-on-one sessions, and I'll link more details for that in the video description. But if you have a general question, you are welcome to ask it here on the community. Like the question we're going to dive into today from a fellow projector. And if we haven't met before, hi, I'm Carolyn Southwell. I'm a 2/4 emotional projector based here in Brisbane, Australia, and I've been playing with human design for a very long time. Let's dive into the question. Hi, Carolyn. Thanks for all this great content. You are welcome. I am a 6/2 emotional projector and must admit to having resisted HD for quite a while because my safe space was initiating and taking control. So it didn't feel right. I've put an asterisk here to remind myself. If you want me to do a whole video on this part of the sentence that I put in italics, it would make a great whole topic and discussion all of its own. So if that sounds really exciting to you, tell me in the comments. Otherwise, let's dive into the main part of their question here. Recently, I decided it was time to experiment, and your content is really resonating with me. Great. I do have a question on something that's not clear. How does the strategy work? So this person's as a projector, the strategy is to wait for the invitation. So how does the strategy work with fun or self-development opportunities that cross my path? Do I need to get personal invitations to travel, visit friends, go on retreat, go to a social event or a workshop? Or is it just a matter of listening to my inner authority on whether this feels right for me? Thanks again. You're welcome. Great question. Projectors. Let's dive into this together. So how does the strategy work for fun or self-development opportunities across my path? Do I need personal invites to do these things, or is it just a matter of listening to my inner authority? Let's break it down. So do I need personal invites to travel? Let's look at things to consider here. Does the travel include another person in any way? That is, are you going to travel with someone, or are you traveling to meet people? What I want you to think about is, has anyone opened the door for you? Like when you think about traveling, does it feel like you're initiating? Does it feel like you've got this idea internally? If you've watched my body language in the little video here, does it feel like you've got this internal feeling and you're pushing it outwards and trying to make it happen? Or does it feel like you're being pulled? Does it feel like you're being invited into something? So I want to give you an example. Like I've had very, very clear invitations to do things. People, like I remember traveling to the US many years ago because a friend who loved me invited me to go to her wedding, right? And she knew there was every chance it wasn't going to wasn't going to be possible because it's a very long way from me here in Australia. But she really loved me and I really wanted to go. So there was an invite and a yes from me. And then I made that happen, right? Now, I'll give you another couple of examples, but I wanted to chat to you here live. So I can think of another example with a friend of mine who adores me, who I just decided that I was going to go and visit, who lives in Melbourne. So it's a very long, at the time I was living in Sydney. So down to Melbourne is a long way. I don't know, 1,200 kilometers or something. It's a very long way. And she was just delighted to have me because she already enjoys spending time with me. So it was easy for me to just let her know, hey, I'm going to travel to you. I'm going to travel to Melbourne and I can include you in my itinerary. Would you like me to do that? And she was delighted and we had a great time when we were together. So that is another way that the door was already open to travel and spend time with her. And she welcomed me into her home. I stayed with her, and that was correct, right? So sometimes invitations can just be somebody who already wants you to travel to see them, and they're just delighted if you can make that happen. But there's a want for you already. Now, I'll give you another very strange example that is really stretching the boundaries of what we think an invitation is. At the end of 2014, it was about 6 months after human design had found me and started to change things in my life. And I had a really strong sense that I was really done with Australia and I really wanted some time overseas. So I said, okay, universe, where am I supposed to go? I didn't really know how to wait for the invitation very well, but I knew the things had worked really well when I had received signs of something in threes. So I had these ideas of like, oh, will I go and be a digital nomad in Thailand? Or like, where am I going to go? Am I going to go and do some sort of trip to Japan? I don't know. I had these preconceived ideas about where I might go. Bali was not on my list. In my head, I had drunk Australians in Kuta. That's what I thought Bali was as a destination, as a tourist, as a foreigner. And over about 1 month, I had about 13 different indications of Carolyn go to Bali. And I was like, okay, okay, okay. I hear you. I hear you, right? But there were so many unexpected um, signals of Bali that I found myself pulled and I found myself living in Ubud that prior to me sort of asking the universe, where am I going to go? Knowing that I needed a really big shift in my life. Um, I didn't even know Ubud existed. And I ended up having Ubud and the surrounding villages as my base for like 15 or 16 months, like more than a year. And it was transformational and it was amazing. So sometimes invitations will be really, really clear. Somebody will open a door, create an opportunity, invite you to travel with them, and it will feel glorious and delicious. And sometimes it'll just be really weird. And that's why, if we go back to these slides here, I asked the question of does it feel like you're initiating, or do you feel like you've been invited somehow? Right? So even though there was no really clear, obvious invitation for Bali, Mama Bali was pulling me to her. And it was so unplanned and so unexpected to me that I was like, okay, there's something going on here, right? So watch out for those too. But most of the time it's going to be a person who says, come and travel with me. Or do you want to travel to my wedding, to my birthday, to come on this holiday with me, right? Okay, so let's do the next one. Do I need a personal invitation to visit friends? So we sort of talked about this one in the last example, but things to consider are, do your friends already deeply adore you and would love to have you anytime you're free? So the example of the friend who lives on the outskirts of Melbourne was like, she adores me and she was happy to just like rearrange the things that she was doing or like make space for me so that I could visit her, so I could stay with her, so I could spend quality time with her. Because she is the sort of friend who the door is already open, right? So I want you to think about, if you're going to go and visit friends, are your friends somebody who, is the friend that you're thinking of somebody who already deeply adores you, or are you trying to make an effort, or are you trying to maintain the relationship? So I have had friends in the past or friendships in the past where I have been like trying to make an effort. I've been the one doing all the work, right? And this is what you need to look out for with friends is, and this will be different for all projectors. You have to ask yourself is, do I feel really wanted, right? Do I feel like this friend adores me? Do I feel like if I showed up, and this is a good test, do I feel like if I showed up at this person's door with no notice and I knocked on the door, would they be annoyed, confused, shocked, unsure what to do? Or would they be like, oh my God, what are you doing here? Come in for a cup of tea. Do you need anything? What's going on? Are you okay? Right? Check in. The only people that you should be friends with are the latter, the ones who are like that if you called them out of the blue, even if they were busy, they'd be delighted to hear you and they might go, oh my God, I'm swamped today, but I'm so happy to hear from you. Can you call me tomorrow? Or can I call you back next week? I can't wait to catch up, right? So only initiate invitations when there's already an open invitation. And I have noticed that I have friends of mine who will say, Carolyn, I want you to know that you have an open invitation, right? You have an open invitation to tell me things about myself, to ask me difficult questions, to like get up in my space, which is important as projectors because that's what we do. And you can inform your friends when you want to catch up with them. And this is always a good test. If you're not sure of the quality of friendship you have, then tell one of your friends, we haven't caught up in ages. I'd love to see you. And then pause and wait and listen and see what their response is. If they're like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. And what are you doing on Tuesday? And all you needed to do was inform them that you wanted to hang out, and then they make the rest happen, or they meet you halfway, or they help you make it happen. Then you've got energy to play with. Because so much of this about as a projector is about you having the energy to play with, right? But if they go, oh yeah, you're right, we should catch up, and then they don't do anything or don't say anything, or they put the onus back on you to do all the work, no go. It's time to upgrade your friendships in that case for people who are willing to do some of the work to meet you. Yeah? Okay. So, do you need personal invites to go on a retreat or a workshop? Now, I've tied these two together because the things I want you to consider here are, do you recognize or value the person running the retreat or the workshop? So, recognition is a big term with projectors, and you might know this already. I always like to think about, as a projector, this recognition thing goes both ways. I want to be in relationship with people. So my clients, my students, anyone who's following here on YouTube, the people that I pay attention to are the people who recognize and value what I'm offering. If they don't, that's nice. They can take a hike, right? My work and in my personal relationships and my romantic relationship, it's about who values me, who recognizes me. But it goes both ways. So I only pick teachers, mentors, people to learn from, people I would go to a workshop, whether it's free or paid, people I would go on retreat to learn from, or like for them to facilitate an experience, if I recognize and value what they have to offer, because their stuff is going to come deeply into me too. Do I think that their stuff is so great, I want it in me? Because as projectors, we are deeply affected by other people. So who are you letting in? Okay. Now, the other thing to consider is, did somebody invite you to check out the event or join them at that event, right? Invites are such a useful way to just like make sure things are correct. And if you didn't get an invite to check it out, or nobody invited you to join them at the event, are you happy going even if you make no new genuine connections? Now, I've done this a bunch of times. I've been like, I want to go to that thing. If I don't meet anybody, I'm not attached. Ask yourself how attached you are to meeting new people or something specific happening. But if you're like, no, I want to go to that workshop, and it doesn't matter if I meet anybody new, I want to be there. It feels correct for me to be there. I want to learn from that teacher. I want to be in that environment. And if you can genuinely say it doesn't matter if I don't walk out with any new personal or professional relationships, then go nuts. Just go along and see what happens. Okay, last one on this section of the question. So, do I need personal invitation to go to a social event? So, things to consider. Did somebody invite you to attend or join them at that event? Or are you going just because you're lonely? There are so many projectors who are lonely. There are so many people in the world who are lonely. We have a bit of an social isolation issue happening with, since COVID and since technology has taken over our lives to such a huge degree. And we're all interacting behind computers, right? So if you are lonely, it probably feels pretty uncomfortable if I ask you that question. And what is the most important thing I want to say to you here? One, I'm sorry that your heart hurts. And I want you to just like give it some love. And I can guarantee that if you go to an event and you initiate And there was no invitation. There was no one pulling you in. There was nothing drawing you in specifically. If it feels like an outward, I must go, do something about this loneliness as a projector, you're probably, it's not definite, but you will probably find that when you go to that event, you'll end up having like interactions that feel meh. The example that comes to mind is when I had long periods of time of being single and I would feel lonely and I would go and find somebody to have sex with. And if you're ever somebody who has done this, who has had one night stands, you'll know that you think the sex is going to make you feel better and it doesn't. After the fact, you're like, oh man, I still feel lonely, empty. That didn't do anything for me, right? You still feel like you have um, that there's something missing, that depth, that connection. Because when you're feeling lonely, what you're really seeking is genuine connection with someone who you resonate with, right? And it doesn't matter whether or not it's romantic or it's platonic or it's professional. What you're looking for is connection with another human being. And as a projector, the way to get that genuine connection, again, whether it's romantic or platonic or professional, is by having somebody say, hey, I want you. Hey, come here. Hey, do you want to hang out? Hey, come to this event. Yeah, that's how you like heal that sense of loneliness. But I get that it's hard if you're sitting in your home alone and you're listening to some chick on YouTube talk to you through a screen, right? So experiment with what you need to do in order to gain some connections. Can you get out of the house and like have some interactions with people in the supermarket as you're walking down the road? If somebody has a puppy dog and you like dogs, can you pat the dog and say hi to the person? Like just get out of the house and have some interactions. And the more that you can recognize that you are incredibly valuable, you make a great friend, that you would make a great lover, that you would make a great work colleague, that you would make a great, like, whatever kind of friend, whatever kind of relationship it is that you're looking for, the more that you are sold, that you can sell yourself on the idea that you're fabulous, the easier it will be for you to attract other people who think that you're fabulous. Okay, let's go back to the rest of this question. Do I need to get personal invitations to travel, visit friends, go on retreat, go to a social event, or a workshop? In summary, what works best always, and I'm sure you've got this by now, is that somehow you receive some kind of invite so you know that you're wanted. This is the best way to make sure you're in the right places with the right people, doing the right things for you. But sometimes we learn an incredible amount by doing it all wrong. Ask me how, I know. So give yourself permission to experiment. And when you realize you've made a mess, get out of there and move on, take the lessons with you. Okay, last bit of the question is down in the bold on the bottom left. So we've talked about all the things that I mentioned so far. Um, mind the mistakes on that slide. I'm not going to redo it, but we're down here. They had said, does the strategy work? Like, do we need to wait for invites to fun or self-development opportunities? Right? So we've answered that. And this part, is it just a matter of, or is it just a matter of listening to my inner authority on what feels right for me? So things to consider. Checking with your inner authority comes after an invitation. Okay? Strategy and then inner authority. By the way, if you are any other human design type and you are listening to this in order to gain a better sense of like supporting a projector, this is also true for you with your human design configuration. Strategy comes first, then inner authority, right? So you're only listening, sensing, feeling, seeing if something feels right for you once you've established that there is a door open for you in the first place, projector. If you found this video useful and you want more resources that I have created, you'll find them on my website. It's linked in the video description here. And otherwise, I'll put some more videos on the screen here for you to check out. Bye for now.